Good morning. My name is Toby Tompkins, and this is Ask Toby. This week's question came from an HR manager who works in the consumer goods industry, and it kind of resonated with me from some of the other questions that came in light, in part because of the interview that Oprah had this week with Prince Harry and Princess Meghan. The question was, what is Black fatigue? And as a white person, how do I help eliminate it? So Black fatigue is the consequence of the way in which a person who is Black must comport themselves in order to survive, thrive, or succeed in a world that was not designed to include them as a whole and equal participant. It is also the recognition that it is generated as a polarity to white fragility, which are the sort of tentacles that reach into the Black experience to shape and sustain Black fatigue. Those are two topics that you can read much more on. I won't go into them in detail in this brief Ask Toby, but Mary Frances Winter is the author of a book on Black fatigue, and I would strongly suggest that you do some more reading. What can you do as a white person to address Black fatigue? Well, you can't fix it, meaning you can't validate it or confirm it. But when you observe someone experiencing Black fatigue, you can name it, you can acknowledge it, and you can challenge the white fragility that might be activating the Black fatigue at that moment. And so how do you do that? By asking a person who you are observing experiencing some form of Black fatigue, what is happening that causes you to feel this way? And what could we do that would change that? By making sure that the decisions and the frameworks and the assumptions that you operate by don't have a differential impact or differential consequence for people who are Black. I think that is hard to do if you've never done it, and it gets easier to do if you make a commitment and if you lead with the intention of doing it. So it's a matter of practice and intentionality. But Black fatigue isn't going to go anywhere, for at least not in my lifetime. And even the acceptance of that is tiring. So sometimes when you experience Black fatigue in a young Black man who's pulled over by a police officer, or a Black woman who's disrespected in the workplace or on her way to work or on her way home, consider that might be a factor that's operating in what you're observing right now before we go to the judgment that they are a threat to me because they're not doing the things that they should be doing to keep me comfortable, to make me feel safe, and to not make me feel different. That's what Black fatigue represents for me and in my life today. And I'd love to hear what it represents for you. Thank you guys. Have a great week, and thank you for the question.